Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe because this is the perfect place for anyone who loves everything about movies, TV shows, and of course, the world of entertainment. If you're also a fan of good horror and love a story full of mystery, brutal deaths, and plenty of suspense, you're in the right place. Today we're going to take a trip down memory lane and revisit one of the most iconic horror franchises in cinema, Final Destination. We're going to look back at the first five films and, of course, what we can expect from Final Destination 6, which is coming to keep everyone on the edge of their seats. So get ready because this video is going to be chilling. Oh, and before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell because we've got fresh content every week. Now let's dive in. Now let me ask you, would you survive fate? Have you ever imagined seeing your own death right in front of you, seconds before it happens, and knowing that no matter how hard you try, you can't escape it? Well, that's the central premise of the Final Destination franchise, which became globally famous for its exploration of the concept of an inescapable, relentless fate. Each film brings a new perspective on how death makes its presence known, with a sadistic twist of irony that makes the audience question whether it's truly possible to escape what's destined to happen. With the release of Final Destination 6 just around the corner, now is the perfect time to revisit everything that's happened so far. All the accidents, the creepy clues, and of course, the most brutal deaths that have made this saga a true cult classic among fans. So hold on tight because we're going to recap all the previous films from the first to the fifth and set the stage for the new chapter. And if you think you've seen it all, think again. Fate doesn't like to be fooled, and those who try to cheat it end up paying an even steeper price. Let's see if you can survive this journey through time and terror. The Final Destination franchise kicked off in 2000, and right from the start, it introduced a simple yet absolutely disturbing concept. What if death had a plan? In the first film, we meet Alex, an ordinary young man who, upon boarding a flight, has a terrifying vision that the plane will explode. After the crash, Alex and the other survivors find themselves in a desperate situation. Death is coming for them, and worse, it's targeting those who were supposed to die on that flight. This movie was an immediate hit and introduced a formula that would capture audiences. Bizarre deaths, a constant atmosphere of tension, and a storyline where the real villain wasn't a killer, but death itself, which, when cheated, seeks to restore the natural order. The film also set the first rules of the franchise. Those who cheat death will pay with interest, and it quickly became clear that no one was truly safe. In Final Destination 2, 2003, the concept of death goes even further and becomes even deadlier. The plot follows Kimberly, who has a terrifying vision of an accident on a highway and, by trying to prevent the tragedy, ends up saving several people. But as we know, death doesn't let that slide. It just rearranges the line. There's no escaping what's destined to happen. The sequel once again brings inventive deaths. But what stands out is how the film intensifies its use of objects in each scene. A microwave, a window, a staircase. Everything is a potential instrument of death. This tension, not knowing what could be deadly at any given moment, turned the film into a roller coaster of emotions, especially with the inclusion of characters from the first movie, deepening the mystery about death's rules. Every detail, no matter how small, could be the key to the next fatal accident. Fate is unforgiving, and to survive, you need to stay alert at all times. Final Destination 3, 2006, gave us one of the most memorable scenes in the franchise, which has gone down in horror history, a disaster on a roller coaster. Wendy, the protagonist, has a vision of what will happen and tries to save her friends. But as always, there's no escape. Death starts acting quickly, and it doesn't take long for each survivor to be taken down in a brutal fashion. This film is known for its visual traps. Each setting feels like a deadly game where any choice could lead to death. The photos taken by Wendy, which contain clues about how people will die, are one of the movie's greatest strengths. The tension builds, and what seems like a mere distraction becomes a crucial piece to understanding the next moves of fate. As always, death doesn't forgive. The only thing death does is correct its mistakes, and anyone who tries to escape is only delaying the inevitable. Final Destination 4, 2009, took a more graphic and violent approach, with much bloodier and more grotesque deaths. The film begins with a tragedy during a car race where chaos breaks out and characters try to save themselves before fate catches up with them. As usual, one of the characters has a vision and prevents death from claiming a few people, but the sequence is just an illusion of escape. Death isn't going away, it's just waiting for the right moment to strike. Despite being the most criticized film for lacking depth and focusing too much on violent deaths, Final Destination 4 stands out for its use of 3D, which intensifies the impact of each death, immersing the audience even more in the grotesque scenes. Action and visual spectacle dominate the plot, and if you were expecting a more thoughtful film, the goal here is clear. Keep the adrenaline high and show that death comes from the least expected places. Final Destination 5, 2011, brought an incredible twist that left everyone speechless. The film starts with an accident on a suspension bridge, but the big plot twist comes when we discover that killing someone else can transfer the death to them, saving the life of the one who commits the act. This moral dilemma completely changes the dynamic of the franchise and adds even more emotional tension, as the characters find themselves in a life-or-death game where difficult decisions have extreme consequences. The film also connects the entire saga by revealing that everything takes place before the first movie, making the story surprisingly tie into the events of 2000, where the survivors finally board that doomed flight, closing the loop. A perfect cycle of events that seemed to resolve all the mysteries. Or so we thought. With Final Destination 6 coming, it looks like death still has a few surprises in store for us. And that's exactly why Final Destination 6 is generating so much hype. Will they manage to innovate once again? What kinds of new accidents are coming? Will there be new rules to cheat death? Or in the end, does fate always win? The only thing we know for sure is that no one is safe, and death is always waiting. It never rests until it sets things right. Now that you've caught up on the first 5 films, are you ready for the next chapter? Which death stuck with you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you're expecting from the new movie. We're in this together, and fate doesn't forgive. Oh, and if you haven't seen the video where I talk about the dark secret behind Final Destination 6 Bloodlines, go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description in case the card doesn't pop up here for you. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any new content. We've got updates on movies, TV shows, and much more every week. And if you want to see a list of the most bizarre and creative deaths in the franchise, drop a comment and I'll bring that special to you too. See you next time, and be careful of the signs, because when fate calls, it always collects.